The Edmonton Oilers have defeated the Nashville Predators by a final score of 5-2, moving to 8-1 on the year. They also extend this winning streak to 3 games. And let's just talk about this one. This is one I can't really sum up with words ahead of time. We kind of just have to go through discussion. Um, this was definitely an interesting game. This was it was honestly, it was interesting, but at the same time, it was also very stereotypical. I feel like I've seen this game play out for the Oilers already this year, and this is not the first time we've won 5-2 against a team. As a matter of fact, it's the third time we've beaten a team 5-2 already this year. So we're getting a lot of repetition, but hey, we're winning. I'm not really going to complain. Looking at the lineup going into this game, same lineup as normal, except for 2 changes. Goodbye, Tyler Benson. Hello, Brendan Perlini. I liked how Benson played. He got a nice little assist the other night off of an underrated play. But hey, rest. Why not? Let Perlini get a game in there. I don't really think it's going to hurt anyone. The fourth line barely gets used anyways. How long did he play? He played 8 minutes tonight. We substituted we substituted our least playing forward. So yeah. And defensively, goodbye Slater Cuckoo, hello Chris Russell. Again, this is just a thing you can do. It's great to talk about how the Oilers can now substitute pieces in and out without killing their entire lineup. Remember last year when Dominic Cahoon was in the top 6, and I think there were a couple games where we healthy scratched him, and it's like, wow, you just scratched someone you've had in the top 6 forever, so good luck with that. Starting this game off, the first goal in the game came on the power play because, of course, hey, did you know the Edmonton Oilers are pretty good on the power play? I didn't really know about it. I forgot about it until tonight. Mikael Granlund takes a tripping penalty. We go late into the power play. Conor McDavid ends up having the puck. He gets the puck down near the goal line, a little bit far out from the net, obviously. Circles up around the entire zone. Has a nice little drop pass back to Nuge, who has been playmaker of the year so far this year. Gives a beautiful pass to Leon Draisaitl, who one-times it, and I swear, I've seen a lot of good goals from this team. Man, there was something so satisfying about watching the puck just fly into the top corner. Leon Draisaitl, I don't even know, like, what was that, his 8th goal on the season? This man's been a wrecking machine quietly somehow. It's 1-0 Oilers. 11 seconds later, I couldn't even get the note down by the time it happened. The Oilers end up giving up the tying marker. It's a bit of a bad pass. I don't even remember which Oiler it was that threw it, but a bad pass by an Oiler. It bounces off a body, falls to Matt Duchene. It's a 2-on-1 for the Preds. Matt Duchene snipes on Mikko Koskinen. It's 1-1. Yeah. The amount of 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s this team gives up that end up being possibly dangerous is a bit concerning. They give up at least 1 a period, which is not all that good. Usually they give up more than 1 a period. It's made any goalie in net look really good when a stop's made. Need to work on that, though. We cannot afford to be giving up these multi-man rushes just all the time because we're going to get mauled for it. So hopefully the defense can work on that a little bit. And yes, I am finding some way to complain. We're entering into the part of the season where it's got to be about taking the good things you do and then perfecting the things that need a little bit of work. We need to really fine-tune throughout the whole year, work on it. That's what it's got to be. Next goal, shall we? So, we're heading into the second period with a 1-1 tie, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, because of course it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins doing something good, he ends up getting the puck at the point, takes a wrister on net. There's a bit of chaos in front. Hyman's up front, by the way, just to mention. In the second period, Dave Tippett does the good old line switch. Draisaitl up to the top line left wing. Nuge down to second line center. So Nuge and Hyman and Yams are playing together. And Yamamoto has a wide open net. And he scores his second goal in 2 games. I love Kale Yamamoto. Please sign for a good contract so we can keep you. Please do so. But yeah, so it ends up being a 2-1 lead, and that actually carries over into the third period. It's just that one goal. So for the longest time, it's a 2-1 lead. Nashville's getting some opportunities. There's a lot of penalties going either way, mainly towards the Oilers. They're taking a good amount of penalties tonight. But going into the third, not domination, but comfortability is probably the best word to describe how the Oilers made me feel with their play in the third period. Conor Mcdavid gets the puck in the defensive zone, charges through everyone into the offensive zone, sees Leon Draisaitl behind him, feeds it back, and Draisaitl doesn't even have to try. He just snipes, and it's 3-1 because, of course, it's Draisaitl again. His 9th of the season. His 9th. 9. In the 9th game! Like, okay, 9 goal marks, cool. It's game 9. It's 9 goals in 9 games. To forget about Zach Hyman being goal per game for a bit, now it's all about the fact that Leon Draisaitl is goal per game. Not to mention McDavid with another point. God, how many is he actually gonna get this year? It's going to break my mind in many ways. Oilers up 3-1, but not for long. Warren Foegele in the offensive zone wins a bit of a puck battle along the boards, walks right in front of the net, feeds up to Devin Shore, who's right sitting there in the slot for a one-timer. It's 4-1 for the Oilers now. Great setup. Great work by Foegele. Great positioning for Shore. You get rewarded for that. Devin Shore's first goal of the year. And then we go on a bit of time, as a matter of fact. About 10 minutes later, the Oilers put themselves in a really precarious situation. They take a penalty, and then they end up going to a 5-on-3, but then they kill off the first one. And right as it looks like they are about to be able to say they've successfully killed off the penalty, I think it was 30 seconds left, there's a face-off in the Oilers zone. It's won by Ryan Johansson. It goes to Roman Josi. Josi at the point to Duchesne. Duchesne slides it over to Johansson like the snap of a finger. Johansson, one-timer. It's 4-2. Good play by the Preds. Our penalty kill is normally reliable. You're going to get one given up every now and then. Not looking at this goal that negatively. Like I said, I've kind of hinted at it, and the thing I will say is that most of the goals we've given up this year, I haven't hated. I haven't sat there and said that I don't like what I'm seeing with the goals. Then, about a minute after that, Jesse Puljujarvi scores another goal, an empty netter. Draisaitl could have had a hat trick, but just because he's so friendly, he gave it to Jesse Puljujarvi to put in, and the Oilers beat the Preds 5-2. Looking over some of the numbers here, the Predators 32 shots to the Oilers 30. The Preds also out-hit the Oilers 33-29. Power play for the Preds 1 for 4. Power play for the Oilers 1 for 2. Looking at some Nashville stats tonight, we'll start off with them. Again, another game where it's very hard to find the numbers to be able to say, hey, here are like 5 players to showcase, plus the goalie. Matt Duchesne had a goal and an assist. Roman Josi had 2 assists. Ryan Johansson had the power play goal. Luke Kunin had an assist and 5 hits. And Eli Tolvanen had 6 hits. Not to mention Conor Ingram was 25 for 29. I do feel bad for Conor Ingram in this game because, man, did he look good, and did he rob some Oilers? There were some times where there should have been a goal, and Conor Ingram stopped it from going in. Mainly the beautiful Hyman chances. The one that was on the penalty kill in the third period was a beauty one-timer by Hyman he stopped, and also one from Hyman that he robbed when Hyman was net front, slides over and gets it with the base of his glove. Zach Hyman was snake-bitten tonight, man. He was so good. So good. Oh, no regrets with signing Zach Hyman. Looking at Oilers numbers now, and boy is there a lot of them, Leon Draisaitl scores 2 goals and 1 assist. Connor McDavid gets 2 assists. Nuge gets 2 assists. Now, I will admit, I went a little bit over the top tonight with the names I put on here. I try to limit it to 5. Normally with the Oilers, I go to 6. 7 tonight, because Yams, JP, and Shore all got a goal each. And Tyson Barrie got an assist tonight. And normally I wouldn't note that with the amount of scoring we saw. But it was his 400th point. give the guy some credit here. Tyson Barrie with the assist. It wasn't on the power play this time, which is pretty good to see. Some 5-on-5 scoring from him. Congrats on 400 points. And Mikko Koskinen shows up again, with a 30 save on 32 shot performance. Last game against Seattle, 27 for 29. The game in Vancouver, 29 for 30. Mikko Koskinen has been doing some really good work this year. Like, really good work. Honestly, I don't really think there's many ways you could be disappointed with how he's playing. He had that rough game against Philly, but other than that, with that being the lone exception so far, Mikko Koskinen has been a brilliant goalie this year. And honestly, when Mike Smith gets back, having Koskinen and him as a tandem is a lot less scarier than I thought it was going to be at first. So, normally I would leave it there, because I've really said all my feelings on this game. I thought that they played well. I thought that they did enough. But very quickly, I just... this team might win the division, right? And listen, it is early. I am aware it is early. We are in Game 9 of the year. The Oilers' best opponent so far has arguably been a beat-up Golden Knights team, or because they lost to them, probably the Flyers. That being said, though, now you look at the Calgary Flames, they're right up there, so arguably you can say that they are the best opponent we faced. We haven't faced all that good of opponents yet. We faced some good ones. No disrespect to the teams we've played, but we haven't played what I would call a big boy yet. We haven't played a Tampa Bay. We haven't played a... Florida would be another team. Wow, really? All the good teams are down there and literally nowhere. Carolina. We haven't played a Carolina yet. Those are some really good teams. We haven't gotten the chance to play yet. So I want to see how we do against a team like that before I come to any conclusions. That being said, though, look at the offensive production you're getting out of the top six. It's more than last year. And last year, Conor McDavid nearly had 2 points a game. This team looks lethal offensively. The goaltending seems to be pretty damn good. Also, by the way, they updated the shot count again, so it's now 31 of 33 for Mikko Koskinen, so I now have to write that in. I hate how they can't just update the stats on the fly. They have to wait until... Anyways, they have that, and the defense. The defense has been surprisingly good. Like, it's been alright, Nurse and Bouchard has been a very good, mostly reliable pair. Keith and Ceci hasn't been horrible, and Tyson Barrie and either Slater Cuckoo or Chris Russell are meh. I mean, obviously there's still some worries about them, just because I don't feel like we've seen a lot of pressure yet. I want to see what we're looking like in mid-season with these guys on the blue line, but it's looking pretty good. And hey, honestly, the other way I'm looking at it is this. If this team maybe does cool down a bit, having an 8-1 start really does help you at the end of the day. I mean, unless you're Buffalo, normally when you have a start this good, even if you do fall off a little bit through the year, maybe slip down and you're 500 through mid-season or something like that, normally you're still able to recover, rebound, and make the playoffs. You're normally still able to be good enough. It's always good to have this good base. So, Oilers fans, be happy that we are where we are. I'm not going to complain yet, because I really don't think there's a lot to complain about. Folks, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I'm hoping to get a podcast out tomorrow. I'm going to communicate with Colin. I don't know if things are still up with his computer, if he's still having issues with them or not. We're going to look and see what we can do. So hopefully, fingers crossed, a podcast tomorrow night. And on Friday, I did mention this in my last one, but I will re-mention it here. I do not think that there will be a video. Obviously, if I'm not mistaken, the game is only being... it's blacked out to the rest of Canada, meaning I would have to be at home to watch, or at least on my PC to watch it, which I might be able to pull off on, like, where I'm going, but I'm not certain. It's also, by the way, the night of Kevin Lowe's jersey retirement. I think Kevin Lowe. Now I'm going to fact check and make sure that it is indeed Kevin Lowe who I'm referring to. I believe it is. I believe. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm not an idiot, or as much of one as I may lead on it sometimes. Yeah, so shout out to him. He getting his jersey retired up against the Rangers. That game's supposed to start at 9:30. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it or not. If I do, I'll try and make a video the next day. I'm not gonna make you any promises, just to fall through on some promises. And then the next game won't be until Tuesday. And if I'm being honest, if even whether or not you get the Rangers video on the Saturday, you might not get another video until after, like, until the game on the 9th, just because I got this the big literacy test in Ontario, and I really don't want to put a lot of pressure on myself. I hope that that's understood, guys. Very sorry. There probably won't be a podcast before that test, though. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate all the support. I will see you all on the next one, whenever that one may be. Goodbye for now.